today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you more about my freedom journey and what I've been discovering as I've gone along in this quest for financial freedom and, in more recent years, lifestyle freedom. So let's start at the beginning, when I first started to feel pretty trapped, shall we say, by life circumstances. I had graduated from music college and I was a music teacher and musician. And the vast majority of my work was teaching in schools as a peripatetic music teacher, which meant that I went around different schools teaching in mostly very small rooms dedicated to where music teachers teach. If any of you have ever been a music student, you'll know what I'm talking about. They shoehorn you in the sort of smallest broom cupboard near to the music department, often with lots of other instruments and music stands and goodness knows what else, and often without a window as well. So this was my early career experience, and I did this for a few years, for about 4 days a week. And I started to, although I enjoyed the music and I enjoyed teaching and I loved seeing the progress my students were making, I could sense in myself that I was not happy or satisfied with that as a continued life experience. It wasn't my only experience. I did get out and play gigs. I did work with orchestras and ensembles and various groups and what have you. But the mainstay of my work was teaching. And I thought to myself, okay, I can't see myself doing this for the next 40 years. So that was the beginning of my journey, really, to discover in myself that I felt like I had more potential, that there was more to life than what met the eye in my early 20s, mid 20s, etc. So yeah, that was my first kind of thinking was, okay, well, what else can I do? My dream and my vision was to be financially better off so that I didn't necessarily have to work, but I didn't quite know at that stage what it was going to be about. So I started off on a journey of self-discovery, personal development, and trying out a few different wealth creation ideas. I had ideas everywhere from being an interior designer to becoming a relocation agent. I wanted to be the house doctor, for those of you who remember the days of Property Ladder and House Doctor on the TV. I wanted to help people to be able to sell their homes. I even looked into becoming an estate agent. I also started a couple of network marketing strategies, worked with a couple of products to get those out there. It was, crazy times, fun and crazy. And it was really funny that the common theme over those first really 5 years that I was looking into this was property. So it was no accident really that I think I got involved in property. I had the passion for it, just didn't quite realise how it was going to manifest. So I worked alongside my musical career to start my property career, our property career, myself and my husband. And we obviously got involved in property. Now, it was funny because the first goal that I had in property was to own £1 million worth of property by the time I was 30. And this was when I was 29 and a few months, right? And 9 days before I turned 30, we owned £1 million property portfolio. It didn't mean we were millionaires by any stretch of the imagination, because most of it had mortgages on, but we had hit just over the £1 million mark. And I was like, wow, if I can think of this, I can do anything. And it was very soon after that life brought us back down, back down to earth, when actually the property that we put into the portfolio turned into an absolute cash drain. And it was a real, it was a chain around our neck, and it was starting to pull us down. I won't go into the whole story right now, but it was not working for us in terms of cash flow. So we were starting to go cash flow negative. So it was interesting how I'd made it about, an egoic goal and a personal sense of, right, I want to earn this much money and I want to do, own £1 million worth of property. And it kind of slapped us in the face, that was the egoic, coming from an egoic sense. So after having given ourselves a jolly good talking to, I remember sitting on a hill up near where we lived, looking out over this lovely country park and sort of going, what the heck are we actually doing? And we had a heart to heart and decided, right, no, it's all about the cash flow. We want to become financially free. That was the clarity that we had gained from the experience that we'd had up until that point, with trying to do everything, different strategies, different ideas, getting involved in property, but it not working out how we had quite anticipated in those early years. So we absolutely focused, and within 10 years, it took us around about 10 years to become financially independent through working with property, and we did it properly. I've been talking a little bit here and there about my property journey over the course of these episodes, so feel free to go and dive into some of those if you see a title about property. But it's interesting because after the time that we became financially independent, I decided to I transitioned even before then to become a mentor. I became a property mentor and coach. So I started working alongside, I'd pretty much given up my teaching, and we'd obviously built up our portfolio to a certain degree. Then I started coaching and mentoring alongside carrying on building our portfolio. And when we became financially independent, I was coaching a lot, and this carried on for about another decade because I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I was good at it. I could see my clients getting results. It was all fantastic. And then, boom, after about another decade, I felt absolutely trapped again, because I had worked myself into this space of not only managing a property portfolio together with my husband, and he was doing other things as well, but also coaching and mentoring, which was another job basically. And it took up a lot of my time, a lot of my energy. And I realized that I had become trapped again. So this sense of freedom was really kind of like trying to burst out. And I was thinking, gosh, if I don't stop, if I don't do something different, I'm probably going to burn out. And that's the opposite to what I actually want. So I made the decision to take my foot off the gas several years ago. So we're talking, I'm just trying to think, around about 2020, 2021. Kind of took my foot off the gas. The business kind of started to wind down a little bit, coaching business, and I had more space again. I had more time to think. I had more, clarity. And at that time, also started home educating my son. And so it took a few years to really work out, well, why is this the case? Why do I have this almost compulsion to carry on working? So although we'd become financially independent, we weren't time independent. We weren't free. Well, we didn't think we were free to do what we wanted when we wanted, because we had, I had put myself in this position of continuing to work hard. And so I had to really sit down, give myself a good talking to, and think, right, what is it that I really want out of life? And it was that sense of freedom, that sense of being able to do what I want, when I want, with whom I want. So I had to go on a bit more of a journey of self-discovery. Okay, a bit of soul searching carried on. And this is not just myself, it was my husband as well. We were kind of working things out together. And after a couple of years, the Freedom Club was born. And this was a very gentle way for us to not only be able to continue to do the coaching and mentoring that both of us really enjoy, but also to be a really cathartic experience to really discover, well, what does freedom mean? What does it mean to us? What does it mean to our clients? What does it mean to the people that we have contact with? So it was a great opportunity to explore this subject further, and hence why this club has been born. So interestingly, in the current life situation we find ourselves in, we are in the sandwich generation. I don't know if you've heard of that term before, but we are the generation, obviously, between elderly relatives and elderly parents and our relatively young son still. He's not really young, but he still needs us, and he still needs us to be around most of the time. So we are envisaging being able to do more travel, to be able to have, more time and space in the next 5 to 10 years. So that's something we would absolutely love to do. So we are dreaming and planning and having ideas of where we'd like to go and how we'd like to explore that. But what I've really come to understand, and this is the message that I really want to get across today, is that I've gradually discovered that our outer life circumstances will never make us feel free, because there are always going to be situations that arise that are outside of our control, that come out of left field at us, that kind of may have an impact on how free we feel or how free we are able to be. So what I've discovered is that it's an inside job. That sense of freedom has to come from within. You have to do the inner work first. You have to feel free first. I have spoken about this before, about capturing the essence of what it is you really want from your freedom journey. And like I say, it all revolves back round to feeling good first, feeling free first, before you do anything else. Because if you don't concentrate on this, you're going to discover that the outer life circumstances that you have will always draw your attention out. They will always pull you into experiences that may make you feel a certain way, may make you feel trapped or anxious or stressed or busy or whatever, insert your own word there. So actually, the most important thing is to actually begin by being in the right state to start your journey and continue your journey. So have a bit of a go. This is my suggestion to you, is to have a bit of an experiment and to start to do and say things to yourself and to other people that make you feel good. Saying and doing things for yourself and for other people which make you feel good, in the right context, of course, and only if it makes you feel good and the other person feel good to say or do those things. Because what that does, it starts you to switch your focus to the things that feel good and that you want to do, both for yourself and for other people. And it sets the tone to come from a place of love and feeling more open and abundant, as opposed to coming from a place of lack, fear, hurt, etc., etc. And what will happen is that your outer world will start to reflect your inner world. If you start to realign your energetic state to feeling how you would like to feel, i.e. free, or i.e. peaceful or joyful, or what have you, then your circumstances will start to work out an awful lot better. And I've proven this time and time again, both for myself and the clients that I work with. The more we tap into this, the better it gets. In short, you can't worry your way to wealth, right? You have to build your way to wealth and freedom, and whatever that means to you, from that good feeling place. Small things each and every day, 1 to 3 small things each and every day that make you feel that way, that bring more of a sense of freedom and more of a sense of wealth into your life. So perhaps think of some things for yourself. What things could you notice, do, participate in every single day that make you already feel financially abundant or free or joyful, peaceful, whatever it is? So for example, my list might look something like this. So I might take myself off down to the beach. I think I've said that before as well, for no reason other than I just can. I love to grab a coffee with a friend. I like to be able to just off the top of my head, just be able to say to my husband, right, come on, let's go out for the day, have a nice lunch out somewhere, go and explore somewhere new, have a nice walk, grab a nice lunch together, or go out with our family and do something fun, like we did an escape room the other day, and we took the whole family, and that was just a brilliant fun exercise. Also like to be able to meditate, have time to myself to really take stock and just switch off from the world around me. That makes me feel calm, free, come back to myself again. And it may be that I take my mum or dad out because they live fairly locally, and I'm able to just go and, spend a bit of time with them, which I feel extraordinarily grateful for, that the fact they are still, close by, and that we're able to do that. Or I might just grab a book. It's quite rare, but I do grab a book sometimes and just have a read. So I don't know, have a think about what things already make you feel good, make you feel free, so that you can start to work or continue to work on your inner state, and recognize that freedom, wealth, and an abundant lifestyle is an inside out job. If you can recognize that as you go along, I can tell you for nothing that your experience of building your life in this way will be so much easier, so much freer, and so much more peaceful. So you will just watch the synchronicities and the circumstances click into place that allow this to happen and unfold even more. So have fun with experimenting with that. I hope it's made you think, given you some food for thought there about your own particular life situation. If you're feeling trapped in some way or stressed in some way, then this is what I have found to work for myself and for our clients in order to start to really live in the way that we want to all the time. So have fun with that. If you've enjoyed this episode, please give it a like. Please leave me a review. Whatever action you feel to take would be absolutely appreciated. It helps all the algorithms for getting the episodes out there to the people who need to hear it. And I very much look forward to seeing you, or listening to you, or speaking to you again on the next episode. Take care for now.